remembers those classic, trailblazing, and iconic coming of age films like Clueless, which follow Cher Horowitz, the popular schoolgirl, and her fight to remain the most popular girl in high school? Or how can you forget 10 Things I Hate About You, the retelling of a classic Shakespeare piece, again taking place in a high school setting? If you watch both films and look closely to the main character's left, you'll see the trustworthy black friend. You know the one. The ever present sidekick lays the foundation for the protagonist to deliver their memorable punchlines and quotes. That's right. I'll be discussing the token black friend trope. We've all seen it in countless television shows and movies. This trope in pop culture represents a character whose role either revolves entirely around a white character or serves as a conscious effort for a white cast to appear inclusive. However, simply being black and friend with a white protagonist does not automatically make a character this trope. It should also be noted that token friend, while not entirely exclusive to black people, the general token minority character is also a familiar role in the media. But why would the entertainment industry want to incorporate this trope in their projects? While television has slowly been itching its way to more inclusive programming featuring more black people, these shows' characters tend not to be as diverse as they seem. The token black friend trope serves several purposes. On a production level, it allows the executive of TV shows and movies to broaden the project's appeal by giving the viewers more protagonists they can identify with. In other words, the producers want to appeal to a demographic that might not be attracted to the series or film otherwise. When you look at the statistics from USC Annesburg's Institute for Diversity and Empowerment, about 90% of showrunners are white and 80% of them male. Most of these showrunners are also followed by a similar cast, which means that the practice of tokenism is still pretty apparent in several shows. Throughout the past decade, major broadcast networks, including NBC and ABC, held a collective 10-to-1 ratio of white characters to black characters. One can even argue that continually running procedural dramas have kept the tokenism trend strong. Shows such as FBI and Chicago Med keep an all-white cast and ensure one black cast member can throw the trail out. It may not take away from their performances or likability as a show's character. Still, it can be quite pandering, especially when other shows have been doing the exact opposite on cable or streaming platforms. For example, in the show Dash and Lily, Boomer is the only African American main character and the best friend to the white character Dash. Boomer had no story of his own. His role in the plot is to further Dash and Lily's flirtation. While there are other details about him, like his family is doing Christmas based on his aunt's cooking or his new friendship with Jeff the Elf, these happen primarily off-screen. Another reason they use this trope is to highlight the distinctive otherness. Tokenism belittles minorities and ostracizes them as others in mainstream society. Zevallos defines otherness as the socially construct identities of minority groups by groups with more political power. It maintains the false narrative that every minority is the same, act the same, talk the same, and only serve to aid the development of their white counterparts. Mass media has played and is currently playing an important role in the way individuals make sense of their identities and roles in society, but also in how people view the other by exploiting or challenging popular stereotypes. Whether it's through TV, films, or books, these media outlets impact the way viewers understand race, culture, gender, and more. The token black friend is mainly viewed as aggressive and would certainly be described as sassy. They are always available to listen to the main character's love life and will help plan the scheme to further the narrative. In the movie franchise called High School Musical, Troy has Chad as his best friend and Gabriella has Taylor. Their main functions are to support their friend, act as an angry black man and a sassy black woman respectively, and hook up with each other, which represent another trope, the token minority couple. Another example would be in Fate, the Wings saga. Aisha is the only black girl in the group, and most of her screen time is dedicated to her relationship with her friend Bloom and get her out of trouble. Those three characters had screen time, but not as much agency as their white counterparts. Finally, showrunners and producers use that trope to defend themselves against claims that the show doesn't represent real life diversity. Diversity within entertainment media has been a hot debate for many years. Major networks have been criticized for issues around racial diversity and representation. In February 2020, UCLA released its annual Hollywood Diversity Report. It once again found that despite gains, Black people remain underrepresented in nearly every employment area examined, both in front of and behind the camera. The casting of predominantly white actors in movies and TV shows to play main characters is usually the industry norm. However, that does not do an accurate job of illustrating a real-life representation of the world. Tokenism is diversity without inclusion or representation. It doesn't intend to implement methods that recognize Black people and the issue we face. More often than not, this practice is used to save face and give the false depiction of representation in a predominantly homogeneous white society. Over the years, records shows that the industry has much to improve if it wants to keep its promises and meet the demands of viewers increasingly drawn to inclusive shows. This is why many media institutions spotlight Black people as token characters to showcase diversity for the audience. A great example of this would be what happened on the show Sabrina the Teenage Witch. According to Michelle Baudouin, an actress on the show, she was laid off as Sabrina's best friend Jenny because the network wanted the main character, Sabrina, to have an ethnic best friend. This didn't happen until season 4 when a new character called Driama showed up in the series. We can also think of shows like Full House and South Park, or even movies such as The Devil Wears Prada or even Matilda, who use the token Black friend trope.
Wow.
In conclusion, tokenism involves generalization and stereotypes which do not represent the entirety of a population and do not equal inclusion. It is important to remember that the attempts to diversify and represent all people in movies and television shows are not made just for the sake of saying that there is one character of a different race or background. Black people are not monolithic and are all different and unique in their own right. With representation should always come the intent to bring a balanced idea on screen of what a diverse world really looks like.